Hi, my name is Junior, and for Executive Planning Day, I'll be presenting on Shopee's economic insights and planning for 2025. And here's our table of contents. I'll be presenting on the macroeconomy and business cycle, aggregate supply and demand, the tariffs and the trade wars, the insights from behavioral economics, and our final takeaways. GDP refers to the gross domestic product, measures all the total monetary value of all final goods and services produced within a country over a specific period of time. GDP also reflects the overall economic activity and the performance of an economy. As for inflation, inflation refers to the sustained increase in general price level of goods and services over a specific period of time. It's usually measured by the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, and inflation tracks the rise in general price levels, indicating changes in purchasing power and cost of living. And as for unemployment, unemployment represents the percentage of people in the labor force who are willing and able to work, but how they are unable to find their jobs, revealing that the economy's health and productivity is quite low at that time. To expand more on GDP, the rising GDP indicates a economic growth, higher consumer income, and stronger demand for online shopping. It also encourages more sellers and brands to join the platform, expanding Shopee's marketplace. And during the economic slowdowns or recessions, consumer spending will inversely decrease, and Shopee can respond with discounts, promotions, free gifts, free shipping, and any campaigns to sustain their engagement. Shopee may also focus on essential and affordable products to match their shifting consumer priorities. High inflation increases costs in logistics, marketing, salaries, and operations. It also reduces consumers' purchasing power, leading to fewer and smaller purchases. Shopee may need to adjust their prices, their commissions, and their delivery fees to maintain their profitability. Shopee can also promote budget-friendly items, flash sales, and vouchers to attract more price-sensitive customers. Inflation insights help Shopee plan cost control and pricing strategies effectively. High unemployment lowers household income and reduces online spending. Low unemployment increases consumer confidence and boosts Shopee sales. Economic downturns may push more people to become Shopee sellers as an alternative to an income source. Shopee can support these new sellers with training programs, seller incentives, and digital tools. This diagram illustrates how Shopee adapts its strategies across 4 phases of the business cycle: expansion, peak, contraction, and recovery. Firstly, during the expansion phase, as GDP rises and consumer income increases and overall unemployment falls, this environment encourages greater online spending, allowing Shopee to grow rapidly. This company expands its seller base, invests in logistics, launches major campaigns such as the 9/9 and 11/11 sales to capture rising demand. At the peak phase, the economy reaches its highest level, but inflation and operating costs start to climb behind us. Shopee can respond to this by focusing on operational efficiency, optimizing pricing, delivery fees, and using user-driven data tools to maintain profitability. However, in the contraction phase, as GDP declines and unemployment rises, this leads to reduced consumer spending. Shopee can counter this by emphasizing affordability, offering discounts, value for money items, and support for small sellers through training and lower commissions. And finally, during the recovery phase, the economic growth resumes and confidence improves. Shopee then reinvests themselves in marketing, innovation, and partnerships to regain market momentum and expand their reach at the same time. And overall, Shopee's ability to adjust to strategies across each phase demonstrates resilience, effectiveness in marketing and management, and responding to macroeconomic changes. Now I'll be presenting on the economic effects of tax rebate on Singapore's economy. The short-run effects are: the rebate increases disposable income, boosting household consumption, shifting the aggregate demand curve rightward. This raises real GDP and lowers unemployment. However, it may cause mild demand pull inflation. For Shopee, higher consumer spending translate to a greater online retail activity and sales. The platform can capitalize on this short-term demand by running targeted promotions and expanding product offerings. As for the long-run effects, as the rebate impact fades, the aggregate demand stabilizes and output returns towards the normal GDP. Why? However, if the firms expand capacity during the boom, the aggregate supply curve may shift rightward, supporting sustainable growth. For Shopee, this may foster a long-term benefit of increased digital adoption, a larger seller base, and improved logistics efficiency. And however, the implications for Shopee, overall, the rebate is likely to boost Shopee's short-term sales while encouraging structural shifts in greater e-commerce reliance. However, to sustain growth, Shopee should strengthen logistics, enhance marketing during these rebate periods, and nurture repeat purchases through immediate stimulus. Now I'll be presenting on the tariffs and trade wars' effect on Shopee. So the winners here would be the local producers. They would gain competitiveness in the market, the governments who would collect tariff revenue. However, the losers would be the consumers who would face higher prices, foreign sellers, and Shopee who will have reduced cross-border sales because of this. And the impact on Shopee in the short run would be higher import costs, reduced overseas product variety, and in the long run, sellers would shift to local sourcing. This would in turn strengthen the local marketplace. Shopee's strategy should be to diversify supplier base to lower tariff regions, promote and support local suppliers, and offer price incentives and logistics support to maintain buyer demand. And these are my insights from behavioral economics. 1. Status quo bias. People prefer to stick with what's familiar to them, and Shopee can use this by offering easy reordering and subscription options, encouraging repeat purchases and customer loyalty. Framing. How choices are presented affects decisions. For example, labeling a product as 90% positive reviews or best-selling frames it positively and increases sales without changing the actual information. And finally, loss aversion. Consumers dislike losses more than they value equivalent gains. So Shopee can use this limited time deals, flash sales, only two left messages to create urgency and drive quicker purchases. And for the summary, from macroeconomics and business cycle, monitoring key indicators like GDP, inflation, and unemployment helps Shopee anticipate shifts in consumer spending. During economic slowdowns, Shopee can focus on affordability and promotions. In the growth phases, it can expand into premium segments and invest in logistics. And aggregate demand and supply. The 2025 tax rebate is likely to boost consumers' disposable income, increasing short-run demand for online retail. Shopee can prepare by expanding inventory, enhancing delivery capacity, and target marketing campaigns to capture the rise in spending. Tariffs and trade wars tensions can raise import costs for goods sold on Shopee, affecting pricing and supply. To mitigate this, Shopee can diversify their supplier bases and promote local sellers to reduce their reliance on imported products, strengthening the market resilience. And for behavioral economics, by applying insights like status quo bias, framing, loss aversion, Shopee can design a more persuasive interface and through marketing tactics to encourage repeated purchase and drive conversion through limited time deals and positive framing. And with that, thank you for listening.